Peace, everybody. Dr. Carol Blaney here, and today I would love to share with you some of the research that I've been doing on how to keep my immune system strong to fight any kind of flu, such as COVID-19 or any other flu, or even cold that's going around, or even bacterial infections. So I am a PhD chemical engineer, and my favorite thing to do is research, especially things that help the human race, and especially things that help me and my family and my loved ones, and that would include my viewers. So I would love to share with you the research that I've done. I was just doing the research for myself, and I noticed that there was no comprehensive list of immune boosters online. Like, there might be one video on sleep to increase your immune function, another one on qigong, another one on your thymus, and there was nothing comprehensive. The only thing that the TV tells you is to wash your hands and don't touch your face, and to socially isolate. But sometimes we have to go get water or something at the store, or food, and so I'm here with my list of 7 highly rated immune boosters that aren't normally mentioned by the television and the radio and all that. So I hope you'll join me as I go through each one. I'd like to spend a few minutes on each one, so I'm guessing this video might be 20 minutes. First of all, I think I'm going to list them in the order that I think is the most important, and I have sleep at the very number one top of my list. Why is sleep so important? Well, when we sleep at night, that's the time that our mitochondria do all the repairs and cleanup of what's gone on during the day in every single cell of our body. And what I mean by that is that during the day we create ATP to make energy so that we can move around and exist and think and do our jobs and play and everything else. So what happens is that when it's making the ATP in our cells, that's our energy, it kind of like when you cook in the kitchen, you make a lot of dirty spills on the floor, and the dirty pans are out, and you sit down and eat your wonderful meal, but then you have to clean it up. So sleeping is the only time that your body does that. So if you want to know more about this, I have a series of 5 videos. One's an intro, and then there's 4 videos about 10 minutes each that talk about different aspects of sleep, the importance of staying away from blue light a couple hours before your sleeping time, because if you do that by wearing the orange tinted glasses or the amber glasses, or even if it's just a matter of an app on your phone that makes your phone have a more orange hue at night, that goes a long way in helping you to make melatonin, because melatonin can't be made in the presence of blue light or green light. So you want to get rid of that spectrum, just like the normal sky is. Think about when it gets dark, you don't see light, and so you naturally get sleepy. And I noticed that when I started wearing the orange glasses, they would almost like make me sleepy. Just by putting them on, my body's like, oh, it must be nighttime, let's make melatonin, and then it helps you sleep. And melatonin is the most important thing for trying to sleep. So we have to get our body used to making melatonin. I do use pills when I travel, but sometimes they give me a headache, so I haven't even used melatonin pills in years, but I have in the past, and some people that may work for you, like to get started. The second most important thing, and not many people know about this, and I really want to spread the word to my loved ones. There's a lot of sound research that's gone into heart-brain coherence, and what that means is that your nerve firings in your brain are in sync with the pounding of your heart. And when you can maintain that state, it goes a long way to reduce the cortisol in your body. Now, just as a background, what causes the immune system to fail? The number one thing is stress and cortisol. Stress and cortisol come together. When you're angry, or when something terrible happens, or you're afraid or something, you're going to be in fight or flight or worry. And so there's a lot of different types of glucocorticoids that are considered stress hormones. And long-term worry causes, one kind of glucocorticoid to build up, cortisol, and then the fast-term, when you get angry, and that's adrenaline, and that's another glucocorticoid. Those are all things that cause you to have stress, and it directs all the action of your body to do the fight or flight. and not to repair and regenerate and heal. And that's the state we need to be in 99.99% of the time in order to be normal, healthy people. And yes, our society and our lifestyle is such that stress is just pervasive in everyone's life. And so we have to take the reins of our own life and build in times during the day where we can lower our cortisol and maintain stasis so that we live our best life. So the way to reduce cortisol is to get sleep, for one, because that helps. That's where my cortisol drops. Like sometimes I can't, if I'm upset, the only thing for me is to take a 1 hour nap, and it always lowers my cortisol. Another thing is Tulsi, T-U-L-S-I-T. But the other thing that lowers your cortisol is to do this heart-brain coherence meditation. And I have a video, the one I posted right before this one, covers that in more detail. But just as a quickie, if you can sit quietly with your, in a safe place where there's no one to interrupt you, and just give yourself 3 minutes up to 20 or even longer, but basically we're lucky if we can get 3 minutes. Go to the ladies' room or go in the stall or whatever, and then there's like 3 or 4 steps. So the first one is start breathing more slowly. Make your inhale the count of 5 in, and then exhale the count of 10 out. You want your exhale to be longer than your inhale, because when you exhale, you're activating your parasympathetic, which calms you down and lowers the cortisol. When you inhale, you're stimulating your sympathetic, which helps your heart pound a little bit faster so that it gets the blood to the lungs when it's needed, when you're inhaling. So it's a beautiful system. And so I'll just do a couple breaths, okay? Okay, in and out. In, out. And you repeat that for 3 minutes. Now, along with the in and the out, you want to remember to breathe through your nose, because when you breathe through your nose, both in and out, there's something in the nose that causes you to produce nitric oxide, and that expands the microcapillaries in your body, and that allows for better oxygen transport into your cells and better CO2 transport and other waste products out of your cells. So nitric oxide is good, and when we breathe through our nose, we raise our nitric oxide. So, exhale longer than inhale, slower breathing than normal. They say 7 breaths a minute, but if you can do 6 or 5, that might be better. But it's really a matter of what works for you, because you don't want to get all panicky and try to only breathe 4 breaths per minute, If that's going to make you panicky, then it's not working. You want a comfortable breath. So don't even think about counting the breath. Just breathe in sort of a happy pace and give gratitude, think a thought of gratitude, because that's also proven to lower cortisol and make your body work better all over, including your immune system. And then when you exhale, think of thoughts of love and compassion, and you understand everybody around you. They may be honking at you or upset, or they frown at you or anything, and you know that they're just going through a hard time, and don't take it personally. Inhale, gratitude. Exhale, forgive and love. And that's what I've been doing. And I always get, like even now, I always get goosebumps and, wonderful tingles when I do that. It really works. So heart-brain coherence meditation. And Greg Braden teaches this as well as the HeartMath Institute. So I wanted to just give some references. So you can Google HeartMath, that's one word, HeartMath Institute. And they have lots of stuff there, books and things on this research that shows that heart-brain meditation, heart-brain coherence helps. I didn't mention the heart rate variability, and the heart-brain coherence meditation that I just described maximizes your heart rate variability. Just in a nutshell, that would just mean that when you're exhaling, your heart is smart enough and agile enough to slow down its heart rate, and then when you inhale, it makes the heart rate go up a little bit. And that's your ability to regulate the speed of your heart. So in a nutshell, maximize heart rate variability. That means that between different activities or different breath patterns, meaning inhale versus exhale, you have a very nice variability in your heart. People that have zero heart rate variability, that means that their heart is like 80 beats per minute constant. It never changes. And those are the people that are near death. So just kind of repeating the research that I've read. Now, the third one is even more esoteric, but it's very grounded in research as well as ancient Chinese medicine. And that is to activate the thymus. The thymus is about right here. So these are your sternum, and then it's right about in here. And I was told it's where a bump exists right here. But my bump is lower than the pictures they draw, so it's somewhere in here, okay? And the exercise that I saw recently that made me want to make this video, because it was like the missing link, is to take your wrist and you just thump there, a comfortably slow pace, for 1 minute. And she said to do it every day. So I'm starting to do this. I'll just do it while I talk. In the morning, like when I do this, I'm reading my daily affirmations. And so I'll read those affirmations while I do this. So number 4 is another new thing that I just found, a Qigong exercise for immune boosting. And while I don't have a video on that, there are other videos all over YouTube, and you can just search in YouTube, you can search Qigong Immune Booster, and it's spelled Qigong, I believe, one word. Or you could type Tai Chi, which is TAI space CHI, Tai Chi. So those are very, very similar. And the thing that I like about both of those is they're very, very slow. So if I'm having a moment where my joints are stiff or something because I've been sitting weird, I can do Qigong, and it's so slow, and it really gets you focused on your body because you move so slow. I used to think when I was younger and more energetic, I wanted to do fast yoga stuff, but now I have a couple of joint issues that are creeping in, and I find that Qigong really addresses that by allowing me to relearn my new, older body and learn just get more intimate with how my body works, and by moving slowly and putting your attention in your body in the way that they describe in the Qigong exercises, you can really get more of an awareness. And I'll just give an example of how Qigong helped me, is when I play with my cat, who's a Sphinx cat, and it's a male Sphinx cat. It's really like a dog, and we live in a little one-bedroom apartment, and there's not much room here, so I throw a little toy across the apartment over and over for like 30 minutes, and I get my workout, and my cat gets all happy, because he loves to chase and stuff, and he chases it, picks it up in his mouth, and brings it back. He drops it at my feet, so I have to bend over, every 10 seconds or 15 seconds, and I found that was causing my hip to hurt. So when I started doing a Qigong movement that was very similar to bending down, but I would just add the motion of bending my hand down to pick up the toy and then finish the Qigong exercise. Not only is my cat mesmerized at my gentle and graceful movements, but I noticed that my hips stopped hurting after a long 30-minute workout, and that I would start out slowly, and then towards the end of the 30 minutes, I'm like bending down, picking up the toy, and I feel like I'm 15 years old. So it's amazing. So anyway, so Qigong for immune boosting, the goal there is to massage, certain parts of your body very lightly to get the lymph fluid to flow. And I believe that from a traditional Chinese medicine point of view, and also from my Dr. Blaney physics YouTube video, where I talk about unification of the physical forces in physics, I believe that some of the movements of pulling the lymph fluid towards you is not just the pressure, because it's very light pressure, but I think it's also your hand exerts a small, tiny amount of gravity on your, your body when you move your hand across it in the Qigong explanations. like this is one of the movements, was moving your lymph fluid downward. You want to rub all parts of your body towards your heart, and that helps your lymph glands clear up, and that's part of the Qigong immune booster. But the Qigong and the Tai Chi immune boosting exercises also focus on stimulating certain meridians that I'm not really qualified to talk about that. I'm not trained in that area, but I do follow those exercises. And now, after I've given the first 4, sleep, heart-brain coherence meditation, thymus activation, and Qigong for immune boosting. So anyway, let's move on. Then number 5 is vitamins. Now, this is commonly recommended. Some people say it doesn't matter, but I believe that it really does, especially in the winter when we don't get enough sunlight. We need our vitamin D3. So D3 and zinc are the two best ones that I've heard. I believe in vitamin C. Some people don't. Suit yourself. So I take D, zinc, and C along with my normal vitamins of, magnesium and calcium and other bone-building things like vitamin K. But D and zinc are the main 2 that I strongly recommend. And there's another supplement that is really proven to boost the immune, and that's the mushroom supplements. I'm not talking about hallucinogenic mushrooms. I'm talking about the nutritional mushrooms that you can buy and eat, or you can buy the pills that's already been concentrated down. And the component in those that's the most immune boosting is the beta glucans. So you might want to look into that. That's all I'll say about mushrooms. All right, and then number 6 is food. So the main thing I want to tell you about food is that there is data out there, and I'm talking not years of data with a lot of countries, that, I'm sorry I don't have the reference, but it's just so pervasive, I'm just going to share it with you. You can do your own research if you want. That sugar, high levels of sugar correlates with high levels of flu catching and being sick. So the less sugar you have, the more chance you have of fighting the virus. Just like the more vitamin D you have, the more chance you have of fighting a virus. So please cut down on sugar. And by that, that's like the yucky sugars like in soft drinks and candies and fruit. And even in fruits, like I'm very sensitive, so I have to really limit my fruits because that has sugar in it, and I have to limit my honey. So you know what's best for you, but if you didn't know that sugar actually promotes viral catching the bug, then you need to know that. And if you have to eat sugar, because I've been addicted to things before, like I'm still addicted to chocolate, but at least I eat the dark chocolate, and that has very little sugar, like 80%, that kind of chocolate. So if you do eat sugar, you can lessen the rate at which it goes into your bloodstream by combining it with fat. So like rather than eat like a teaspoon of sugar in your tea, you could have that teaspoon of sugar in a brownie with lots of butter and chocolate. Ooh, that sounds delicious. But that's my recommendation. Try to lessen the amount of toxic sugar that you eat. Now, or any sugar, even fruit and honey have sugar, so you have to limit that. The keto diet is like the extreme of avoiding sugars, but most people don't like to do extreme things, so just lessen the amount of sugar and be mindful when you're eating sugar. Think, am I hurting my immune system? And if you think you might be, just at least send thoughts of love to your body and tell it, this sugar's coming, but I'll do something later to counteract it. I don't know what I'm saying. Just avoid sugar. And then the last and very kind of esoteric thing that I want to recommend, but it's really not esoteric anymore. It's super, super mainstream. ASMR. It stands for Autonomic Sensory Meridian Response. And ASMR is very much about you being cared for by another and having no stress, and your body becomes, I believe, in heart-brain coherence. Because when I watch ASMR and I get that response, the little goosebumpy tingles and the relaxation, I think I'm automatically breathing properly, the heart-brain coherence technique method, where you inhale and then you exhale slower, because you're just so relaxed. And a lot of times when I'm working or writing on my books or whatever, I have what's called ASMR ambience playing on my, it's playing in the background, and one of my favorites is called Forest Shrine. And it's this gorgeous little shrine, and a little elf goes by every now and then. There's little sounds, but it's not something that you just watch for entertainment because, you know, it allows you to do your studying or whatever. I have one that I made on my Bliss Brain ASMR channel, and it's called Dumbledore's Christmas. And my husband painted the picture of Dumbledore sitting on a chair and a Christmas tree and a Dobby the elf. And then I added in the window, I added falling snow and a little witch that flies by and makes little humming noises, all the things that are triggers for me. And so that, you know, I'm going to expand on that channel. I'm very interested in using ASMR to help us be more healthy and happy. So if you're not already an ASMR addict, I would encourage you to look into it. There's a few people that don't feel that trigger of tingles when they watch ASMR videos, but in my opinion, all humans are capable of it. It's just that you have to find what works for you. And it may not be an ASMR video. It may just be that you need to go get your hair done, or you need to go have a massage, or you need to have, you know, maybe you need a real person to care for you in order to feel that ASMR response. You know that animals groom each other, like chimps, for example. They groom each other to lessen stress. And when you have a really good hairdresser that's cutting your hair and there's no pressure to talk and you're just kind of in a blissful zone, that's ASMR, you know. Especially if you feel little goosebumps or something. So that's number 7, and I'll wrap it up now. Adding to all of these, of course, we want to wash our hands as often as we can. I can't use hand sanitizer because in the winter my hands just, they have too many cuts and stuff, and so unfortunately I have to really be careful. Don't touch your face, because even if we wash our hands a lot, I know personally I'm probably picking up germs constantly because I use my hands for everything I do. Pencils, pens, eating utensils. Even when I wash dishes and put them away, I'm probably still putting germs on the utensils. So, hello kitty, you gonna come say hello? And you're going to remind me to wash my hands, aren't you? Yes, I'll do that. Yes. Did you like your dinner? Mm-hmm. He's a good. This is Nico. He has his own YouTube channel. Oh, don't you do that. All right. Well, that's all, everybody. I hope you liked it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will put some links below to some of my favorite ASMR artists. I will also put links to some of my other videos, like the one on light, for example, the one on heart-brain coherence meditation. Maybe if I can find that Gong exercise and the thymus exercise, I'll put those links too. So, peace everybody, and thanks for watching. Bye.
I'm here all alone, feeling so plain. You are not around. The gray sky looks like rain.